Hi fellow logicians, welcome to the Logical Christ channel where we evaluate logical argument that would help us apply logic to arguments presented. Now, here's the logical argument we will evaluate. Premise 1. An adult person who has a psychiatric disorder in which he engages in sexual acts with a prepubescent child is a pedophile. Premise 2. Prophet Muhammad had sexual acts with a prepubescent child. Conclusion, therefore, Prophet Muhammad is a pedophile. Sit back and relax, we will be back after this short intro. Here again the logical argument. Premise 1. An adult person who has a psychiatric disorder in which he engages in sexual acts with a prepubescent child is a pedophile. Premise 2. Prophet Muhammad had sexual acts with a prepubescent child. Conclusion, therefore, Prophet Muhammad is a pedophile. The act of pedophilia has adverse effect to a child mentally, physically, and emotionally. An immoral act to be condemned in all boundaries, cultures, and times. Here is a video clip that gives us more definition.
When treating patients, every therapist in the United States uses the DSM. That's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, and it categorizes the illnesses and creates a customized treatment plan. In the DSM, pedophilia is what's called a paraphilia. That's a condition in which a person's sexual arousal depends on fantasizing about or engaging in behavior that is atypical. It's not culturally acceptable. In this same section, you're going to find exhibitionism and voyeurism. Pedophilia is an ongoing sexual attraction in a person usually 16 years or older toward prepubescent children, generally 13 years or younger. Simply feeling that attraction is not a crime, and it's not all that rare. Studies suggest that between 3 and 5% of the general population are pedophiles. Most are men, a fraction are women. Pedophilia becomes a pedophilic disorder when the person experiences personal distress and impairment because of the ongoing burden of the fantasies and urges regarding children.
In Sahih al-Bukhari 5133 clearly indicated how Prophet Muhammad married a 6-year-old child, and when she turned 9 years old, Prophet Muhammad had his sexual actions with the child. It states, narrated Aisha, that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old, and then she remained with him for 9 years. Here's a clip that a former Muslim had drawn a comparison on the same act and much worse.
There is a clip circulating around on social media. 87 years old, so-called spiritual leader, Nobel Peace Prize winner, the Dalai Lama, is asking young child to suck his tongue. He is 87 years old, asking a young child to suck his tongue.
Then I think finally here also. And suck my tongue. And suck my tongue.
Many people around the world and on social media expressing how this makes them to feel sick. They see this as a disgusting action. People without pausing, they think this should be called out. Yes, it should be. No one has any right to abuse a child. Doesn't matter what kind of spiritual leader you are. But I am very much disappointed. Everyone around the world is saying this is improper, this is child abuse. And within approximately 6 weeks, so-called team of this spiritual leader put an apology out there. And their apology, as disgusting as the action he did. I want to take you to 7th century where very similar action, even worse than this action, is done by the Prophet of Islam, and no one called him out. And today still no one is calling him out. In 7th century, Muhammad sucked the tongue of a child. Child sat in his laps and Muhammad sucked his tongue. That wasn't enough. Muhammad thought it was okay to kiss the private part of a child. He kissed the private part of a boy. Of course, it didn't stop there. While no one was calling him out, it didn't stop there. He offered paradise to those who give Muhammad what is between their legs, which is their private parts, and what is between their jaw, which is their tongue.
Based on these arguments, we can logically conclude that, according to the presented evidence, Prophet Muhammad is a pedophile. Here is another spin of the same logical argument. Premise 1. Pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder in which an adult person initiated sexual acts to minors. Premise 2. In Sahih al-Bukhari 5133, Prophet Muhammad committed pedophilia. Conclusion, therefore, Prophet Muhammad had a psychiatric disorder. Here's a clip on how Muslims contradicted this Sahih hadith just to cover up what Prophet Muhammad did.
According to the claims of atheists, Muhammad was a pedophile. A pedophile is defined as someone who is sexually attracted to children who have not reached the age of puberty. The justification for this claim is the narration that he married Aisha, who was 6 years old, and that he got married when she was 9 years old. However, this narration is definitely against the Quran, because the Quran has set the following conditions for marriage. Age of marriage. Is the age of marriage 6 or 9 years old? Coming of age. Is the age of consent 6 or 9 years old? Not committing adultery. Can children commit adultery? It is not possible for Muhammad, who is obliged to follow the Quran, to marry a young girl, contrary to these verses. But unfortunately, the traditions and narrations that emerged decades after the death of Muhammad claim the opposite and show him as a pedophile.
Finally, after our evaluation of the premises, we have a solid logical argument that Premise 1. Pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder in which an adult person initiated sexual acts to minors. Premise 2. In Sahih al-Bukhari 5133, Prophet Muhammad committed pedophilia. Conclusion, therefore, Prophet Muhammad had a psychiatric disorder. What do you think, my fellow logicians? Comment down below.
Thinking with logical Christ.